Hi Santo, hi Kim. Thank you for coming today. Today we're going to get to know one another. You're going to get inside my head a little bit to understand how I plan, why we're different, and why we do things a certain way. And I'm going to get inside your heads a little bit to understand what your goals are, what your wishes are, what your dreams are. Okay? Today is really about the process and not the product. Fortunately for us, everyone hangs up a shingle, they call themselves financial planners, and all they want to do is sell you a product. And as a result, over your lifetime, you keep buying products from different financial advisors. And you do what I call junk drawer financial planning. All you're doing is buying a product from this person or product from that person, not knowing why it makes sense in your world or why you even bought it. Okay? So the focus is on product versus a process. Santo, do you play golf?
Yes.
Okay. If I got you a great set of golf clubs, you're not necessarily going to go hit the ball, right?
Right.
If I get you lessons with Tiger Woods for 30 days, you may hit the ball a lot better. The golf swing is the process. The golf club is the product. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Great. In your world, you have different advisors, correct? You might have an accountant. You might have an attorney. You might have a stockbroker, financial planner, life insurance broker, property and casualty broker, a banker, trust officer, your brother-in-law, Bill, that's giving you financial advice. All these people are giving you advice irrespective of one another. They're giving you opinions. It's up to you to siphon through those opinions to make intelligent financial decisions as to what works or doesn't work in your world. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You ultimately become confused, paralyzed. You don't know who to believe or what to do because everything is opinion-driven. What we do is through this unique process called your PFO, Opus, which is the name of my company, sits in the middle with you, holding these advisors accountable for the opinions they're giving you and stress testing these opinions and verifying them mathematically so that now you can make intelligent choices as to what works or doesn't work in your world. The word opus in Latin means composition or movement, like an orchestra theme. So we literally orchestrate your wealth based on facts, not opinions. Does that make sense? Okay? Some of the problems that you're faced with when you're trying to make financial decisions. Number one, you lack the time or the expertise to research everything that's out there. There's too much information. The second problem is institutions in this country are after your dollars. They want you to give them money on a regular and ongoing basis, hold on to it for as long as possible, and give you back as little as possible. An example of this might be a maturity date on a CD. I put my money in the bank, I have a one-year CD. Well, the bank needs to hold on to that money because they lend it out. And they lend it out multiple times. We're going to talk a little further about this. A bank is making 40, 50, 60% on your money. The third problem, for the most part, most people are emotionally incapable of managing their own money because they manage their money based on greed and fear. I want to buy, I want to sell. I want to buy and I want to sell. Okay? The fourth problem is the government in this country is constantly changing the rules of the game on us. Since I was born, the government changed tax laws in this country close to 30 times. What was good yesterday is no good today. Our job is to find the loopholes in the tax code so you can maximize wealth over your lifetime. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The next problem is inflation. Inflation erodes at the buying power of the dollar. You know, if you call the College of Financial Planning today and you said, well, how much income do I need when I retire at age 65? You know what their answer is? You need 70%. You need less money. One of the richest countries in the world, the United States, only 3 out of every 100 people that retire at 65 have incomes of over $50,000 a year. Right? I called the college, I said, why does somebody need less money when they retire? Their premises, the mortgage is paid off, the kids are out of the house. You don't need as much money. Can you tell me what taxes are going to be? You guys are in your early 40s. Can you tell me what taxes are going to be 25 years from now?
No clue.
Can you tell me what inflation is going to be?
No.
Do you remember double-digit inflation under the Carter administration?
Sure.
Okay, so we don't know where taxes are. We don't know what inflation is. We don't know what planned obsolescence. Has there ever been something that happened, a boiler broke, a leaky roof? There were unexpected expenses that you had to take money from somewhere and repair those goods and services, those products in your world. Technology's changing. I remember when I had my first cell phone, it was this big. Right? I remember black and white TVs. I remember an 8-track in the car. My computer's already outdated. So we're buying new things, right? Over and over. Right now you work 5 days a week. You play 2 days a week. When do you spend your money? When you play, right? How many days a week are you going to play when you retire?
7.
So if I showed you how to have 100% or better of income, are you going to come back to me and say, Nick, you gave me too much money. I needed less. Doesn't make sense. The other problem is the media. The media contains a lot of misinformation, a lot of falsehoods. Unfortunately, people believe everything they read without any verification. Money Magazine is notorious for this. They do their top 10 mutual funds. Next month, different top 10. Which one should I buy? Last month's issue or this month's issue? Does that make sense? Okay. My job is to alleviate some of the myths, some of the falsehoods associated with money. See, Wall Street says, hey, give me some dollars. Over time, if you give me X amount of dollars and we earn this average rate of return over this time frame, I'm just picking a number, you'll have $2 million over your lifetime. Have you ever been on a sailboat and you're going at 5 knots in the water and there's a current coming at you at 5 knots? Where are you going? Nowhere. Does this oftentimes feel the way your finances are going?
Sure.
Okay. See, that pressure, that current is causing a drain, is causing pressure on this yield curve. The first major wealth eroder is taxes, right? The other thing is the opportunity cost of the tax. When you spend $1 in taxes, you lose the opportunity to invest that dollar somewhere else in your world. When you get that little 1099 from your savings account or your brokerage account and you owe the income tax on dividends and interest, you don't liquidate your accounts. You pay it from another source, another pocket. As a result of giving up those dollars, you lost the opportunity to invest those dollars. You have 7 kids, right? When you pay for college for these kids, right? College is not going to cost whatever the costs are. That money cannot work in your world. The true cost of college is the money you gave up and that you lost to the institution, plus the opportunity cost of what that money would be worth given a certain rate of return. Does that make sense? Okay. There's planned obsolescence that I described before, causing pressure. There's technological changes. There's inflation. There's market volatility. There's management fees, and all these wealth eroding factors that are causing pressure on this curve. And you go through life this way. What we want to do in this process is teach you how to sail with the current so you have more wealth. So there's a lot of fallacies associated with money. We talk about market volatility or average rates of return, right? If you gave me $100,000 and I said in the first year I could make 100% on your money. In year 1, your money grew to $200,000, right? Then I say in year 2, Santo Kim, the market doesn't always go up. It had to adjust down. So you were down 50%. Year 200 became 100. In year 3, I say, well, sit tight. The markets will come back. In year 3, now you're back at 200. And in year 4, I said, well, the market dropped 50%. You're back at 100. You gave me 100. You ended up with 100. You had to pay me a management fee to manage your money. What was your average rate of return? 25%. And you made a financial decision based on an average rate of return. See, average and actual are 2 very different things. Okay? This is opinion-based. The math doesn't show that. It's like if I gave you $1 a year for 10 years, how many dollars will you have? 10. If I gave you an apple a year for 10 years, how many apples will you have?
10.
They're all eroded. You don't have 10. Same thing with the dollar. There's wealth eroding factors that erode the buying power of that dollar. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Where do we go from here? We utilize a unique process. There's about 3,500 of us licensed in the United States that utilize this unique process. Have you ever taken an economics course anywhere along your studies? Okay. Do you remember the term micro and macroeconomics? That was my major in college. I never understood it, but let me simplify it for you. Microeconomics, think of the word micro looking through a microscope, one-dimensional, very linear thinking. Microeconomics says in order for you to accumulate wealth, you need to have money times whatever rate of return you get on your money times the time frame. So people accumulate wealth because they add to wealth. I'll add to my savings, I'll add to my brokerage, I'll add to my 401k, wherever you're saving money. One of 3 things has to happen for you to have more money. Either you need to make more money, right?
You need money to make money, right?
Or you need to get a better rate of return and take on more risk. Oh, we need more time. Right? Right now, there's over 200,000 people in the United States over the age of 100. People are living too long. They're outliving their wealth. They didn't plan for that. This is analogous to communist China. In communist China, they pool wealth and they ration wealth off based on needs. The very way financial planners are planning. Trying to project what your needs are at some future point in time without understanding those wealth eroding factors that we discussed. Micro, one-dimensional, very linear.